This story was sent to me by Coca 2005, and wait till y'all get the details behind this one. This one right here is one of the more interesting stories that I will be talking about when it concerns a particular topic that I've spoken about plenty of times. So in this picture, you see a man by the name of Jacob Blair Scott, and back in 2018 or somewhere around that time, this guy actually got exposed, or he got caught raping his 14-year-old stepdaughter, who was then 14, of course, at the time. And to avoid getting charged with this, getting charged with the crimes in which he was committed, he ended up staging his own suicide. Now, this was 2 years ago, back in 2018, when he did all of this. Because he just ended up on the 15 most wanted list, he ended up being found recently, as in just a couple days ago. Literally the day after he ended up on that 15 most wanted list. So, like I said, this guy was raping his 14-year-old stepdaughter. In order to avoid getting charged with anything, he staged his own suicide, not because, a dead man can't go to jail or be charged with anything. But then they ended up finding him after he ended up on the most wanted list. And mind you, this was 2 years ago when this happened. I'm going to go ahead and read the article coming from ABC News so we can get more information. A decorated military veteran who allegedly staged his own suicide to avoid charges of raping his 14-year-old stepdaughter was found by United States Marshals less than a day after he was placed on their 15 most wanted list. Jacob Blair Scott was expected in court on July 30th, 2018, as Jackson County prosecutors charged him with a 14-count indictment for sexual battery, touching a child for lustful purposes, and the exploitation of a child. Scott, aged 43, was out on bond and failed to show up to court, where he was expected to plead guilty. The judge issued an arrest warrant, and investigators went looking for Scott. They found his abandoned dinghy in a tow off the coast of Orange Beach, Alabama, with a gun and suicide note. Authorities later found that Scott withdrew $45,000 from a bank account before his disappearance, but the money was not found. Scott's body was also never found. That's most likely because he made off when he made that withdrawal. Officials with the U.S. Marshals said Scott's military background and knowledge of the outdoors may enable him to live off the grid. Scott served in Iraq and received a Purple Heart in 2011. Over the last 18 months, Scott was allegedly spotted in the Denver area, Mississippi, Nevada, and Louisiana. On Wednesday, Scott was added to the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted fugitive list with a $25,000 reward. By Thursday, a tipster in Oklahoma reported seeing a man fitting Scott's description at a mobile home park. Scott was taken into custody at Pittsburgh County Jail in Oklahoma and is currently awaiting extradition back to Mississippi to face the child sex abuse case. U.S. Marshals Assistant Director for Investigative Operations Jeff Tyler said in a press release that this was the fastest apprehension of a fugitive in the 37-year history of the 15 Most Wanted program. Now, you got to think for a second there. They said this was the fastest that they have ever caught somebody who has ever ended up on the 15 most wanted fugitive list. They said it took them 18 months to catch this man. 18 months. So you're talking about almost 2 years to catch this man. And that was the fastest they've ever caught someone who's been on that list. That's scary because that lets you know that there are way more people. That's 1 out of 15, which means there are 14 other people out there that they have not caught, or they may have caught them, but it took way longer than a year and a half or over a year and a half. But I'm glad that they caught this guy. But by him running and doing what he did, he made his matters even more worse. Now he has the charges that he already has on him from 2 years ago attached to him, but now he has additional charges onto him. He's going to be going to jail for a very long time, just on the fact that he faked his own death and then went on the run for almost 2 years. All I can say is the person who gave them that description, I hope they paid him in the reward. But he should definitely be stripped of all of his military accolades and all types of stuff like that, because this is a sick individual. But look at how many states this man hopped. This man hopped about 5 different states that stretched out across from the Midwest all the way all through up the some parts of the West Coast. Like, he did not stay in one particular spot. But I'm glad that they finally ended up catching him. It's a shame it took them almost 2 years to do it, but hey, they finally got him. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this story down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you in the next one.